guys, so today I'm joining my brother Marlon and we're going to be doing the Unpopular Opinions Challenge.
Cool, let's go. Alright, so the first topic is quite light. KFC versus McDonald's. What do you think?
So, in my opinion, I believe McDonald's is better than KFC, and KFC is greasy or dry, and it's just a no-go.
So McDonald's isn't greasy or dry?
No.
Oh, okay.
And KFC chips are just not nice.
So you prefer McDonald's, KFC. So what's your favourite meal? What's your favourite meal from McDonald's?
Me, chicken nuggets, of course.
Yeah, but then when you get the box is greasy.
No, it's not.
That's wild. And I don't get why people like chicken nuggets.
Cheese bites. Oh my god.
Hold on. But what's the hype for chicken nuggets? Please comment or do something. Like, I don't understand the chicken nugget hype.
You just
Yeah, I would say KFC. It depends on my mood. But yeah, so I would say KFC or McDonald's. Only because I think with McDonald's, it might just be me, and this might be a bit too much information, but whenever I eat McDonald's, two things happen. One, half an hour later, I'm starving again. You can spend £15-20 on McDonald's and you're starving again. The second thing is, it doesn't stay in me. Like, I'll eat it, and yeah, hour later, it's a problem. But I think it's because I don't really eat fast food that often. So yeah, I'd say. But price point, I'd say McDonald's. If you're on a budget and you've only got like £3 in your pocket, for example, you can go to McDonald's and you can buy like a meal. You go in KFC, you might get like a
box of chicken,
popcorn chicken or something. Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, so the next one is, what influence does social media have on society?
So I want to start off on this one because I think social media is quite an interesting topic. So we're in the era right now. So obviously, I'm 31. Candice is a bit younger than me. So we obviously grew up in different stages of social media. I grew up, for those that know what it is, with MySpace, with High Five, with Bebo. YouTube was somewhat kind of growing when I was about her age. But now, everything is social media. Like, people's businesses are run from social media, mostly Instagram and Twitter. Everything is visual, so everyone's on YouTube, as you guys are watching right now. Whereas before, you might have a MySpace page, you might put glitter all over it, and you'd have the top, I think, 5 or 10 friends, and that was the hype. Plus MSN, which doesn't really count social media, but still. So I think now that there's two sides of social media. One, it can be very, very toxic. It can be a very dangerous place. It can be very addictive, and very time-consuming. But at the same time, I feel like it can be an escape from the stresses that you might have at college or at work or whatever. So whether you like to go on YouTube, whether you like to go on Instagram, just like loads of meme pages, and you like to laugh at the memes and whatnot, that kind of works. So yeah, I think the balance is that it can be very toxic and it can be very enlightening. You can learn a lot from it as well if you follow the right hashtags and whatnot. But there does need to be a balance. That's why now people are doing the whole screen time. What do you think?
I think I agree with you on that, because I feel like nowadays there's so many people with their careers on social media, and but at the same time, there's negatives and everything. But I also believe there's so much passion in social media right now. In comparison to people's hobbies, it's social media, it's Instagram, but then they kind of share their passions on social media, so it's a bit of a mix.
Well, I think with that, so just to touch on what you said about it being a hobby. For me, that's mad. Imagine Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff being a hobby. Back in the day when my people were kids, the hobbies would be like knock down ginger, or for those that know what curbsy is, it would be playing in the park. It would be just knocking for each other and playing out. Do you know what I mean? But now kids don't really do all that. They're FaceTiming from their bedrooms, and it doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time, as a 31-year-old, I sit on kind of the verge of the millennials and the kind of old school, because I know what TVs were like when you had to get the aerial and figure out what the channel was. But now I also know what Sky Q is. Do you know what I mean? So there's a balance. I went from Blockbuster, which you won't know what that is, Blockbuster, which is sick back in the day where you used to take videos and not take them back, to now everything's now online, so Netflix and all those kind of things. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's all to do with timelines and whatnot.
So the next topic is, does vegan logic make sense? So personally, I think vegan logic is just a shambles. It's actually tragic.
Wow. Carry on, go on. Explain why.
Because I feel
Disclaimer, by the way, the whole point of this whole YouTube video is opinion. So those of you that are in your feelings and all sensitive and whatnot, keep it moving because, do you know what I mean? Like, it's opinion.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I feel like the passion towards, like, that vegans have is very excessive and not needed. And also, like, hating on certain people because they're eating meat. Like, I know that, like, on social medias, if there's a picture of someone, like, and a plate of food and say they've got chicken on their plate, some people that have got, like, certain people following them that are vegans will then bombard them and harass them because they're eating meat, and I just don't get it. I really don't. Like, the way you go about it isn't correct, like, in that sense. Like, they may... If you're not going about it in that way, then I 100% like give it to you, because like that's obviously the way to go. But personally, the way I've seen it, obviously you can't judge everyone by how one person is, but like the way I've seen the majority of people, they haven't been acting in the correct manner.
Fair, okay.
What
so
about you?
My thoughts is, right now, veganism is very cool. So, I don't know, 15 years ago, no one was screaming. I mean, I'm sure they were, but not as boldly and as like out there as they are now. No one cared about like veganism and like gluten free and all that kind of stuff, because it just wasn't cool. Just like going to the gym and social media, it wasn't really that cool back then. But now I feel like veganism is subjective. It's all subjective. So whether you're a pescatarian, whether you eat everything, whether you're a vegan, whether you eat gluten-free, whether you have lactose intolerant, whether you've got whatever it is in your nutritional requirements, it's all subjective. If you feel that very strongly about animals and animal cruelty and the way that meat's prepared and the way we slaughter animals in the UK and whatnot, all around the world, I think that's plausible, because like I understand it, animal cruelty. Personally, I eat meat. I don't eat red meat as much anymore, just for certain reasons, but I eat meat. And if I'm honest, I feel like, what happens if, this is going to be very controversial, but what happens if you've got chicken, turkey, beef, XYZ, whatever other animals there are, and they don't get slaughtered to be eaten? Because since I've been born, that's all I've known. I've known that like you have dinner, and on that plate usually is meat or fish. So what happens if those animals aren't killed for that? They just die of natural causes and we just burn them? It's a bit wild, like, do you know what I mean? So they might have a purpose. So that's my opinion. I feel like veganism is very, very fashionable right now. But as long as, if you're educated and you take an educated stance on it, I'm all for listening to your opinion about it. However, if you're going to push your veganism onto me, we're going to clash, because I like meat. That's it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next topic we're going to talk about, it's quite an interesting one, I guess we'll find out why, is gender reveals, and whether or not we think they're good or bad or funny or pointless or whatever. So for those that don't know what gender reveal is, essentially it's just if a couple are expecting a baby and they want to reveal to their loved ones or friends and family and whatnot what gender the baby is. You go first on this one.
Okay. So personally, like, if I had a child in the future, then I would go about having a gender reveal, just because I feel like
So
it's a
you'd have one?
special. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's a special like part of like the pregnancy journey, and I feel like it's like a thing which brings the family together, like the excitement together, instead of like stressing out during your pregnancy. Then you can have like lead it up to excitement. Obviously, I know that some people like don't want to know the gender, and if you don't, then fair play to you. But if you do want to know the gender, then I feel like it's a thing you should do.
You basically just think it's more of a fun thing.
It's more of like a fun thing and a happy little celebration you can do
Fair enough.
during the pregnancy. Like, obviously, if you like, some people might not be able to afford it, but you can still like make a cake, maybe put some like berries in it, and just have your family round. Like, it's just a family thing, I believe.
As a guy, okay, two things. One, I think that it's definitely more of a woman thing. If I call my guys right now and said, obviously if they knew that I was having a baby, and I said, yo, it's going to be a boy, they're going to be like, oh, congratulations, man. Like, that's as far as they're going to go.
Yeah.
My boys are not going to be like, yo, I'm having a boy. Like, it's not like that. So it's definitely more of a female excitement thing. Obviously, as the dad, or potential dad, like, at the gender reveal, you are going to be excited because you're feeding off the energy of the people that are there. But realistically, if a woman said to a man, alright, husband or boyfriend or whatever, I'm going to put it in your hands, do you think we should have a gender reveal? He's not going to be bothered. Just,
That's
also,
you.
also,
There
but
could
also,
be people that-
it's very American. It's definitely started in America because all
But
of the
it's
videos
it's
it's transcending over to the UK, or just Europe in general. But I feel like it definitely started from America
Yeah, I agree with
because it was, no offense, but Americans are excitable about anything. So a gender reveal is you're excitable characters. So I feel like a gender reveal is definitely more female and is more American, but it is transcending over here. I think that it is a fun thing to do if you want to know the gender of your baby, but at the same time, I feel like personally, I probably wouldn't want to know the gender. I don't know.
What if it's your first child though? Like I feel like
Tell a lie. I would want to know the gender just because it helps you to prepare mentally for when the baby gets there.
So the next one is being rich is important. So personally, I believe that being rich isn't important. Like you don't need money to be happy. I think happiness is important. Well-being, health is important.
Well said.
But I don't think that being rich is important. I know there's people out there going, oh my god, I want £1 million. I'm gonna like, do you know what I mean? I see these people on Snapchat and they're feeling like, oh my god, screw it, like getting money. But I'm literally like sat here like, I don't care about my money, I care about my family and friends, like just having like a laugh. Like, yeah, I need a little bit of cash, but I don't need like £1 million to put a smile on my face. Like, chill. Like, it's just a bit excessive.
I don't think being rich is important though. I don't think it's
Norm.
There's two words in there, isn't there? For me anyway, rich and important. What do you deem as important and how rich is rich? My thing is, I think it's good to be wealthy, and when I say wealthy, I mean everyone watching this can probably relate. If you want to go on a holiday next week and take all of your family, or you want to take your boyfriend or girlfriend, or you want to take your 10 of your friends, not 10 of your friends, a couple of your friends on holiday, for example, is that going to put a massive dent in your pocket? If you want to go out and buy ladies like, I don't know, a Chanel bag, for example, or gents, you want to buy the latest, the most retro Jordans or whatever, is that purchase going to put a hole in your pocket?
It's the little things.
Yeah, like if that's going to put a hole in your pocket, then it's clearly not important. And one of the rules that a few people go by, if you can't afford 3, don't buy 1. You get it? So I feel like being rich is definitely not important. In this day and age, being flashy is very important for the gram. It's very important for social media because people want to floss and do this and do that. 9 times out of 10, those cars are rented or leased. The jewelry you don't earn, you pay finance on it. Like, do you know what I mean? All that stuff is just for the gram.
Can I just disturb you? I don't know if you've seen it. There's this post on Instagram. It's a picture of like a billionaire, and there's a picture of like a rapper, and the rapper is shown wearing like
chains,
all his money.
You're talking about Bill, yeah.
So all his money, and then the millionaire.
Just in a t-shirt and stuff.
It's just like in his basic suit,
yeah.
and the suit it looked like a suit that you could buy from Primark. Like it doesn't look excessive. Yeah. He's not trying to show off his money. He's just living a normal life.
And he's happy, yeah. I think I'll touch on what you said was really important, is that also it depends on what you define as being rich. Are you rich in like love from your family and friends? Are you rich in your nutrition? Are you rich in your state of mind and your mindfulness? And then are you rich financially? If you've got all of those things, let's say you have the first 4 that I just mentioned, but you're not rich, but you got a decent amount of money, you do alright. In my opinion, you're rich. Alright, so final and probably most talked about one. So I threw this in there because I thought it'd be funny. And disclaimer, she's too young to date, so don't try it because I'll come find you. First dates, who pays? Female point of view, what do you think? So let's say you're 31, yeah? 31, going on, no, I'm joking. So you're older, you're going on the first date, guys ask you out on a date, what's your...
And who should pay?
Like, you've got to the table now, you've eaten your food, you drank your drink, the bill comes, what happens?
So there's two ways about this. So I believe that you should half the bill, but it also depends on who asked who. Because, right, if a guy...
Just remember it's first date as well.
Okay, so if a guy has like been like, oh, do you want to go on a date? If he's asking and he's insisting, like if you say like no first time, or like he just insists
on taking you out,
yeah. Then I feel like it's on him a bit. Like he should, if he offers, then he offers. Like,
right, cool, yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. But
so,
like, if I ask, then again, if I ask, then. Oh, and then I'm gonna want to pay.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. So if you said to a guy, "Oh, do you want to go out for dinner?" and you get in there, you want to pay for, yeah, that's wild. Alright, so
Okay,
let's say...
I think you should go halves. I think you should go halves because, right, like, it's your first date. You don't know the guy. Like, it's not like they mean, like, a lot to... Like, I guess if you're friends... if you're friends, then that's a bit different.
Nah, if it's just a first date, because friends, it makes it complicated, doesn't it? It makes it complicated.
Okay, so if it's a first date,
Yeah.
you hardly know each other, I feel like you should go halves. You don't know that person. That person could be, like, trying to play you. You don't know. You don't know.
So would you be happy to leave your house, go on a date with whoever, and the bill comes and let's say it's £200? Are you willing to pay £100 on that date with that person, even though you're getting to know them?
Yeah.
Fair enough. The reason why I think that's dope here is because a lot of you women at my age sing a different tune. I'm not even going to get into it, but you know who you are as well. So my perspective is this. I would say there isn't really a blanket answer. That's kind of annoying. I would say men should pay for the first date simply because 9 times out of 10 men are the pursuers, we're the chasers or whatever. So we want to date the woman rather than, in this day and age, women rarely like throw the olive tree out there.
So
and
if
say,
your bill was £500, you're willing to pay £500?
My bill will never be £500 on the first date.
I'm just saying. There's people out there
so
that will pay 5k. So like,
no.
Do you know what I mean?
So my thing is, if I've asked you as a woman out on a date and you've left your house, you've gotten ready to look presentable and whatever else, and you spent time with me, not to say I'm paying for your time, but I obviously appreciate the effort you're making. So obviously, I'm not gonna mind paying for the first date because.
What if your date is bad? What if your date is bad? You're gonna
I'll probably sing from the same hymn sheet. If hymn
What
sheet,
if they're
sorry.
rude?
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say.
If
So
they're rude,
if I went on a first date and the girl is just like a scumbag, then I'm paying for my half and I'm not seeing you again. However, my disclaimer is, if I went out on the first date with a girl, no matter how much the bill is, the bill comes on the table, yeah? Unless I've said, oh, it's my treat, but if it's just a first date, bill comes to the table and you've not flinched, you've not gone to like make the effort to like contribute, you know what I mean? Then I'm gonna notice. Because then it's like, oh, you've come out and expected me to pay.
Yeah.
So unless we've had that conversation before, which is fine, but if we haven't, and you come out on a first date and you've eaten well and your belly's full, you've had your wine, you're feeling a bit merry, and then you don't flinch when the bill comes. Are you sure? Nah. So, however, there is a debate in the people in my generation that say that, is it a game? I hope you hold on to that because men will respect you more if you have that approach of like, no, I'll pay my half. Because guys respect that more than girls that obviously know about them girls that just go out and have free dinner all the time. So hopefully you enjoyed our kind of
discussion,
back and forth debate. If you have any disagreements or agreements or additions to what we were saying,
comment them down below.
Indeed. Give us a thumbs up, click that button, like, share, subscribe to the world, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for watching.
Peace
Bye.
out.